Oh, hello, and welcome. Welcome and hello. My name is DannyDealz. Welcome to another exciting episode of Range Anxiety, where we discuss all things electric vehicles. And is our want, today we're going to talk about the Neo stock, ticker symbol NIO. Guys, as you know, Neo is a Chinese EV company, sort of on the burgeoning side, a smaller player right now. Running with the likes of Li Auto and XPeng and some of the other smaller companies, often discussed with companies like Lucid and Rivian and this type of thing. As we discussed in episode one of Range Anxiety, um, they just got an investment out of the Middle East, leading a lot of people to believe they're going to expand both factories and sales into the Middle East. UAE specifically, kind of a la Lucid and Saudi Arabia. I gave reasons last time in a couple of articles that we were discussing why UAE is actually a much better place to sell and make EVs, and it makes a lot more sense than Lucid's deal with Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia tends to invest in things for strange reasons, not really economic reasons, but you know, for cover up the memory of the murder of journalists and dismemberment and things like that, their human rights record. But if you remember my last video, there was a list of top 10 countries for EV adoption, and UAE was up there near the top of the list, and Saudi Arabia wasn't on it. But guys, want to jump in, just start off with this article in CNEV Post by Fate Zhang on July 10, 2023. Um, they're talking about Audi reportedly looking for platform partners in China. Um, the thing I want to emphasize is that I've been telling you guys for a couple of years, I haven't been making videos a couple of years, but I have been espousing for a couple of years that it makes a lot of sense, particularly in the last year when Neo has really been aggressively building out swap, aggressively building out battery charging, aggressively building out their, trying to build out their in-house battery capacity and development. And, just as they're transitioning the last of their vehicle models to the 2.0 platform, they're already reportedly working on two variations of the 3.0 platform. So Neo lays a very bold, aggressive, large footprint foundation compared to the small number of vehicles that they have produced to date. Like they're talking about building, 1,000 swap stations or 50 a huge number of swap stations in China this year. Yet, they've only been making 8, 10,000 cars a month, and the numbers just don't make any sense. You're going to build, you know, a swap station for every 100 cars, you build this year on your it just the math just doesn't add up to me because the swap and the charging are not going to be at capacity. Now, I know with Neo's charging, a lot of competitors do use their charging pylons, and that's great. That's extra revenue. We want EV adoption. We want to be part of the ecosystem. Think about what an advantage Tesla has that they've built out charging infrastructure all over the world that no one else can compete with. Um, and obviously, Neo's trying to compete in China, but um, Tesla has infrastructure in the United States and Europe and stuff that, now other manufacturers are having to come to them on bended knee and get onto their network. But anyway, guys, I've been telling you other, particularly European manufacturers are going to license and build on Neo's platform and use battery swap. And basically, it'll be like a skateboard thing where they put the body, the interior, their own, electronics and stuff on the top, but the drivetrain, the motors, the batteries are all going to be Neo. And the reason I thought that some of the smaller German names made sense is because they don't produce enough vehicles to roll out these platforms and changes as fast as the Chinese manufacturers can. that these legacy companies simply are not as nimble, as fast, and they're just falling further and further behind every day. And guys, this brings me to this article. Audi reportedly looking for platform partners in China. Audi is looking for external help to shorten development time of models in China, where Volkswagen subsidiary is in talks with competitors, according to a report yesterday in the German media outlet Automobilwatch. Audi is considering buying a platform from a competitor for the first time in China. The report said, adding that the company will prepare a corresponding template should be prepared for extraordinary meeting of the supervisory board this week, possibly on July 11th. Guys, which happens to be today. In Europe, I guess, time's forward, but so this would be like later on today after the market closes, we could actually see that meeting reported on. Volkswagen CEO Oliver Blume has already approved the project, and Audi is in talk with manufacturers. Audi urgently needs an electric platform, and some developments such as the Trinity project have been severely delayed. The report doesn't mention any further details and reflects the awkward situation Audi faces in China's fast-growing electric vehicle market. The first half of the year, retail sales of NEVs in China stood at about 3 million units, 3.09, contributing 32% of all passenger car sales of 9.5. Guys, a third of all passenger cars sold in China are EVs. Wow. According to the CPCA. Despite one of the top selling premium brands in China, Audi has never made it into any of the rankings for EV sales. Mid-January to May period, BYD sold almost 900 some thousand. Tesla was number 2, 219. Down and down, NIO 106, NIO was number 10 with 43,000. Li was number 6 with 106,000. Just kind of shows you how anemic NIO's production has been of late. But good news, guys, which we'll get to in just a bit. It is certainly ticking up a bit these last couple of weeks. Last November, an image circulating on Weibo showed an Audi dealership placing a large billboard on its store. It said Audi also had pure electric models. Chinese consumers generally have low acceptance of Audi EV models, which sparked a lot of discussion online at the time. In an interview with Reuters last month, Audi CEO Markus Duismann said the company had to accelerate the development of new models to meet surging EV demand globally, especially in China. Need to shorten production cycles of connectivity and software. We are also looking intensely at how this is done in China. Over time, development cycle needs to be closer to 30 months compared with more like 48 months. So they're trying to get, a year and a half, 2.5 years versus 4 years in development. And you see kind of NIO developing a new platform, a complete new platform every like 3 years, it would seem, 3 or 4 years. So you could see that getting more compact, but they're basically going to use this same battery swap standard and just improve the efficiency, capacity of the swap stations themselves. But it seems like they are pretty committed to this standard at this point as they're rolling out swap all across China and starting to roll out swap in Europe. And they actually have a production plant in Hungary, I believe, that is now up and running to produce the battery swap stations. So they don't have to ship them from China to Europe. They can just build them right over there. So guys, I don't see anyone able to challenge or catch NIO and battery swap. And I don't know that Audi is in talks with NIO, but it makes so much sense to me, guys. All the extra manufacturing capacity that NIO has at NIO Park, NEO Park, they're talking about building 2 completely new factories for 2 new sub-brands, one for China and one for Europe. I just ask, who better than NIO for a company like Audi to partner with? I mean, you get all the added benefits of battery swap, which they're already building in Germany and Scandinavia and all across China, and you get NIO's fast charging. I mean, NIO next month, guys, they're going to, or this month actually, they're going to roll out the 150 kilowatt pack. And, this is superior to anything anyone else has on the road at this time. And NIO rolls these things out on time, ahead of time, and they work, guys. NIO's development is superior to anyone else outside of like the biggest companies, such as Tesla. I think their technology is actually superior to BYD, though they don't build, even a tiny fraction, 5% right now of the cars that BYD is building. Just to go over a couple of items, guys. NIO's NOP Plus driver assistance software available on Beijing's ring roads and major highways. So they've mapped out, the entire major roadway system in Beijing so that the driver assistance works there as intended. Registrations this week, Lee was at 7,900, Tesla 3,200, Neo at 3,100. So another good week. It was like 4,000 last week. So production is up, and the other good news is the ES6 was contributing very, very heavily. Lots of orders. ES6 lead times are up. ET5 slightly down, moving down. ET5 to make UK debut at Goodwood Festival of Speed. Excellent news. Expanding into Europe. Neo's user manual now includes 150 kilowatt battery as delivery nears. The 150 kilowatt semi-solid battery pack will be available in July. William Lee said in the launch of the new ES6 in May. So that was only a couple months ago, guys. I fully expect Neo will deliver on that promise. The 150 kilowatt battery pack is quite an achievement, I believe. Is It provides just with a little bit of extra weight, it provides 50% more power, and the pack's energy density is much, much higher than the 100 kilowatt pack at 261 watt hours per kilogram versus 180 watt hours per kilogram. So that energy density is much, much improved, like a third. The pack contains 384 cells, which is higher than the 96 cells offered by CATL. The energy, we went over this, like Neo's other packs from CATL. The 150 watt pack has a length, width, and height, so it fits into the battery swap. It's got to be the exact same size, which it is. They debuted it with the ET7 at Neo Day 2020. And claiming it would give the vehicle range more than 1,000 kilometers. It was delayed several times. Neo filed using the pack in early May this year. On May 24, launch of the ES6 said it would be available in July. Well, the new Neo ES6 SUV can get a range 930 kilometers when equipped with the 150 kilowatt pack, he said at the time. SUVs typically have a higher energy consumption because of higher wind resistance, and also because they weigh more. There's just usually weigh a little bit more than a sedan. Also, but I'll just add that in. I don't mean to second guess Fate Zhang, who is probably the smartest individual on earth when it comes to Chinese EVs. This guy has all the information, all the data, and we appreciate you very much, sir, because we are not in China. At least I'm not, and I can't get all this information and insight that you give us, and you're the man. On June 30th, We Lion began delivering to Neo, a delivery ceremony, Shenzhou Province, production is located, We Lion executive president. So they have battery development going with CATL, with We Lion, and also in-house. Neo is basically everywhere all the time, all at once, basically up in your grill if you're the industry, and just innovating very, very rapidly, seemingly on all fronts. Self-driving, battery technology, hopefully talking with Audi. Don't know that, but certainly possible. So they just go over a bunch of things, guys. There's a table of all the packs from all the different companies and the types of chemistry. And, this is interesting. I don't speak Chinese, so I can't, read that. But in any case, guys, very, very exciting. Neo just keeps moving forward, and then these are the registrations again, heavy on ES6, which is very, very good. I've been, saying let's sell the ES6, let's sell the ET5. People want those cars. They're at the right price point, and let's ramp production. So Neo, last week had 4,100. Today over 3,000. So, we're talking about at least 500 or so cars rolling off the line every day, which is very good news. If you get into a full month of production like that, we should, and I think it's going to start to ramp a little bit this month. I think they have their ducks in a row, and I think they learned from some of the mistakes they made with the ET7. So, guys, just checking out the price action on the day. Neo is, by the way, guys, it's 10:40 a.m. out here in beautiful Los Angeles. That's 1:40 p.m. out in NYC. Hope it's a great day wherever you are. The date is July 11, 2023. October time check, 10:40 a.m. on 7/11/23. And guys, the Neo stock is sitting at 1081, up 4 cents or 0.33% on the day. Volume is heavy after 4 hours of trading almost 56 million shares. Xpeng is up on the day, as is Lee. Tesla is just slightly down, Nikola down, Lucid up. So, Neo is being screwed with today, guys. Let's take a look at the live short interest. Borrowed change, they're saying is minus 1.36. So return 3, borrowed 2, and so the borrowed change negative 1.3. Overview of the short interest. The short has, significant short on the stock, 8.49% and 16% of the free float on loan, utilization 42%. Cost to borrow remains pretty low. So, guys, what else is going on with the Neo stock? It's basically about production numbers. It's about demand. There's a lot of news that basically the Chinese government forced Tesla and BYD and all the companies to end the price war and sort of normalize pricing, not just raise and lower prices wildly. It's not really fair to consumers in a certain way, and that's just not how they want to run. They want to run a more orderly market. It's good for Neo. It's good for the smaller domestic competitors in China, obviously, that are being crushed by Tesla in that mid upper market segment. So, guys, if we look at the chart here, I'll also point out that, short interest on Neo has not been this high. It's actually kind of crept up. So that's just something to keep your eye on. There's not a lot of surprises with the stock like this, but if you look, guys, the stock just cracked the high that it made back in April. Basically just pushed through that level. So this is a key level if it can get through there. It also consolidated there like almost all through the month of February. So it's making a bit of a bull run, guys, and this is what you want to see. Basically throughout the month, made one run up to almost 10, checked all the way back to 840, made another run over 10, checked back this time to 950, and now it's making another one. This is what you want to see, guys. You want to see the stock, leg up, check back a little bit, leg up again. This is how, buyers and sellers kind of meet in the market. You don't want to see a stock just shoot up, only buying, because that's going to be a pump and dump, and it's going to come crashing back down, guys. Remember, this is a car company. They're not going to, announce a cure for cancer or something that dramatic. They're going to build cars, and they're going to make batteries and stuff like that. So the price movements shouldn't be, that dramatic, and a healthy price action basically does look like this, guys. I mean, the stock was all the way down here, I don't know what this level is, but it's like low sevens, guys. Almost touched 7 here, almost went below 7, and then, guys, came up just very, very quickly to 10, just all too quickly. So, some retracement. This is a very healthy chart, guys. I like this stock to move higher. Absolutely blew past the 50-day moving average. 200-day moving average is coming down to meet us, just actually past the 200-day. And if my spidey senses are correct, I expect the 50-day moving average to go ahead and cross over the 200-day moving average, and the stock to make a nice move to the upside as production ramps up in Q3 and Q4. Think Neo is going to make a very strong bullish move in the second half of this year. That's just my opinion, guys. Any interesting news? Just kind of checking the market here, taking the temperature, taking the temperature of the market vis-a-vis Neo. Biggest movers, why we like Neo, but the rally likely won't sustain. This rally has staying power. The Asian investor setting up for a big move. James Ford. The bounce has juice. Stone Fox Capital. Show more trouble. Rating downgrade. So generally positive press, guys. A little bit, a little bit all over the place. Let's see what the tip ranks news. Neo call volume is above normal and directionally bullish. That's interesting. You can see the stock moving up, so not entirely surprising. The chart looks great. So bulls, options traders, all kinds of freaks, geeks, and turds jumping into the stock. Neo remains a show me story, says Morgan Stanley. Neo call volume above normal. We already saw that one. Finally, Tesla, another Chinese automakers waive the peace. Yeah, we saw that. Morgan Stanley sees green shoots of NIO shipment recovery in late June. BYD boosts production. Doesn't directly have to do with Tesla, but it's good to see EV adoption all over the world, Latin America, Middle East. It's happening. I saw Xpeng just signed a deal to start distributing cars in Israel with a local dealer there. So, guys, EVs are worldwide. They are going to be adopted, and media coverage, analysts, you know, coverage has actually fallen off on NIO. It's been kind of bullish and neutral, nothing really negative in the press, but the article volume has fallen off. Back in June, there were, just a lot more articles, but NIO still gets a lot of press, a lot of buzz. Analysts forecast, basically, they're saying the stock is what it's worth. It's basically neutral. 0 sells, but 7 buys and 4 holds. And then the target prices show like moderate downside, 1033. It's disappointing to see like Edison Yu, who was very very bullish. Jeff Chung. It's very disappointing to see these target prices all the way down at 13 and 1150. I just don't think they're only talking about delivery numbers here, guys. I don't think it reflects all the work that NIO has done, the foundation they've laid, the incredible lineup of models, the engineering, the self-driving, the battery development. The battery swap development is just critical, and that's why I think makes like Audi, if not Audi, but others, will eventually license the technology or just have NIO build them the actual structure of the motor, the battery, the frame to their specifications, and then they can just put, the body, and it'll basically be a partnership. And I think NIO and will be doing most of the heavy lifting, and some of these companies just can't afford to develop at the rate NIO develops, and it makes a lot more sense to hit the market running, partner with some of these makes, get a lot more cars on the road using battery swap, really reinforce that battery swap standard and the dominance in that area that NIO has displayed thus far. Guys, what's going to happen the rest of the week, rest of the month with NIO? Where do you expect the stock to be in terms of deliveries this month and this quarter? Please let me know down in the comments. Are you still bullish on NIO? Are you, like analysts, a little bit more on the neutral side? Stock is very flat today, kind of pumped and dumped at open. And then basically it's kind of been, more or less algo held, and volume has, of course, dried up as, the market makers want to hold it in a little bit of this area. But it's still getting some decent ticks here, 1,000, 2,000 shares. That's 100. 200. But guys, not trading at really heavy volumes anymore. You can see on the chart, guys, the volume indicators very, very flat, indicating that's just heavily algo and computer trading, and there hasn't really been a lot of human trading of the stock since approximately the first hour after the bell. Anyway, guys, that's a NIO stock. Ticker symbol is NIO. My name is DannyDealz. This show is Strange Anxiety. Range Anxiety. Range Anxiety, Strange Anxiety, however you want to say it, guys. It's range anxiety, it's strange anxiety. The world is moving very, very quickly toward EV adoption, and I firmly believe NIO will be a major player in the world market in the years to come, not just because their battery swap, their innovation, but I think their cars are really appealing to people aesthetically, and I think it's important that cars be kind of cool as well as practical and efficient. So I think NIO is really ticking all the boxes, guys. Let me know down in the comments what you think about NIO, the NIO stock, EVs in general, what you'd like to see on the next edition of Range Anxiety. Guys, my name's DannyDealz for Hurricane Lopez and Stock Karen. We'd like to thank you for watching the broadcast today. Please check us out and on our sister broadcast, Un Poco Mas, where we talk about all kinds of stocks and fun stuff over there. But for now, this is episode 2, Range Anxiety, signing off. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. I am crushing your head between my fingers. Have a great day, guys. We'll talk to you soon.